So today I'm headed out to Shimada for a mountain bike ride, but I got about 40 minutes of drive time, so I figure I just talk about my last trip, what went well, what didn't go so well about it, and things I think I should have added in the video that I didn't. So firstly, overall, I think Shikoku is an incredible place to go bikepacking in, especially Tokushima, the Kamikatsu area, to the Tsurugi-san Superlindo is just, well, it's just the best because it's the longest unpaved double track you can have in Japan, 87 kilometers. There's nothing you can really say bad about that if you like off-road gravel riding. So I highly recommend that. That being said, there's a few things that I didn't really mention about the ride that I think I should have. This is basically the third or fourth time that I've been to Shikoku, and the second time I've been to that Tsurugi-san Superlindo in the past 2 years. I was really excited to go, especially doing a bikepacking trip. Firstly, Ikumi Campujo is run by the Ikumi Chaya owner. So when you go there, so I think it's on weekends, you can order curry and he delivers it to your tent directly. And the cafe is only a few hundred meters away, which I think that's a really interesting service that is offered there. And the curry is just phenomenal. One other thing I didn't really put into context too well in the video was that the record collection was something I was really looking forward to seeing. And I guess sometimes I'm a little bit hesitant at talking to people or showing people's faces in videos and things like that. That's why it's all kind of, it looks like on the down low kind of recording. But yeah, I really wanted to see those records. It was like a big deal for me because I like collecting records and I wanted to see those. And I couldn't remember the one record I saw on his website or somewhere that he had 21st Century Schizoid Man by King Crimson. I couldn't remember the name of it. In any case, that was like something that I feel like I should have added. I even drew a charcoal drawing of Shikoku before going. That's how excited I was. So maybe I wasn't really showing how excited I was in going to this place. So another thing, some fails that I had regarding my camping stuff. I used Nemo tent and a Nemo tensor sleeping pad, and I even have the ground sheet that comes with the Dragonfly 2-person tent. This is the older version. A newer version came out recently. The tent poles held up really well in the storm, in the rain and the wind, but somehow the ground floor wetted out despite the fact that I had the proprietary ground sheet with it. So that really kind of bothered me a bit because that actually wetted out the sleeping pad as well. And that kind of created a snowball effect because then the next day I hung out my sleep pad to dry and I put up my tent to dry it out. But then the sleep pad fell off my car and now it has 5 separate holes, abrasions from the fall. So I'm kind of like right in the process of trying to fix it. I've used tenacious tape a few times to try to clear it off. I had problems with the gear aid sealant stuff that I put on the top of the tent, and I hadn't used it in a while, so I was jamming my Leatherman down the hole of it, and then it ended up puncturing the side of it. But it turns out that the side produces more, allows more of the cleaner sealant to come out, so I kind of used that as a backdoor way of getting clean sealant on the pad. So most of it's cleaned up, but I just put on sealant this morning for that one final big spot, and it hasn't been holding air with the tape, so I took that off and put the sealant on. So hopefully once it cures tomorrow morning, I'll fill it up and see how it goes. Also, the tent suffered a hole in the in the floor, even despite there being a ground sheet. So I put some tenacious tape on there. I think that's pretty cleaned up. Also, from last year, the fourth time I used the tent, a fly sheet strap to hold the door open just fell off. It just failed. And I was thinking about sending it back, but I live in Japan, so it's a total pain in the butt to deal with the warranty process. I would have to pay for actually sending it to America to get it serviced. It's ridiculous. I'd have to go through the third-party Japanese outlet that I use through Rakuten and then have them send it out. It would just be this whole rigmarole. So I bought some new tenacious tape, which seems to be a different material from what I was using before, so more pliable. So hopefully it'll keep the strap held to the tent okay, or better than the other tape might have done. So those were a few of the fails that I've had with the Nemo tent and the Nemo tensor sleeping pad. Hopefully I've repaired them well enough for my next trip. Oh right, I should also mention Gakujin no Mori. It's a great site. I mean, Ikumi, Kampujo, and Gakujin no Mori both have like restaurants close by. The Gakujin no Mori restaurant is owned by the same people who run the campsite. The food there is absolutely phenomenal. Both campsites are 2,000 yen a night, or absolutely incredibly priced. I mean, I'm used to paying at least 4,000 to 5,000 yen a night, or you know, a free campsite here and there. But for what you get, it's unbelievable. And the Gakujin no Mori campsite is about 3 kilometers away from the Tsurugi-san Super Lindo, so it's an excellent base camp if you just want to focus on riding that road, doing an up and back or doing a round trip or something like that. Ikumi, Chaya, and Kampujo is also along the Tsurugi-san Super Lindo, but I mean, the real focus, like getting up into the mountains, like that Gakujin no Mori is 1,000 meters above sea level, so you're getting pretty close to the peaks of and the real highlights of that forest road. So I would highly recommend staying at that place for a few nights, and especially in the summertime because of the elevation, so you can avoid the heat. Both places are great though. I mean, I was really impressed with the offerings. Gakujin no Mori has showers, for crying out loud, that you can use for free. You know, so that's another thing, and it has a botanical garden, which I didn't get to see because of the rain. So that was kind of a letdown. But yeah, that was another thing that I noticed. I guess another aspect of my route was that I didn't use the Tsurugi-san Super Lindo the whole way. And the first day, man, that was incredible because of all the animals that I saw, the waterfalls. I just showed one waterfall in the video, but I mean, there was countless waterfalls there that just streaming down off the mountainsides. Beautiful, beautiful cascading waterfalls. Some slight streaming, some with more power. So I just overall highly recommend riding around there, especially if you like a little gravel and something a little bit more off the beaten path from what you might get in other places. Of course, in the holidays, as you could see in my video, there was, you know, a lot of chimneys on the forest road, and also motorcyclists, and they all go up to this Fagas Takashiro stop that has a campsite and a restaurant, and it's a really nice place to make camp as well. So yeah, those are my other thoughts. Yeah, so another thing I wanted to mention was, you know, sometimes you worry about like how much you should bring on a ride, and I was really happy that I brought the Tyvek sheet, even though most people use it as a kind of a ground sheet in place of like proprietary stuff. But I bought the Nemo ground sheet, you know, because the tent is so expensive. I was just like, you know, okay, I'll pay a little bit more for this ground sheet. But I also bought the Tyvek sheet, and it came in really handy because in that heavy rainstorm, I just basically wrapped that around my rear wheel and I threw some rocks around on it to keep it from flipping up in the wind, and that completely protected my gears on my bicycle the whole night, despite it raining heavily and all that rain. So I was really happy about that. So I would definitely recommend just bringing that, even if you're not using it as a ground sheet. You never know what kind of use you can get out of it. Another thing that I was really happy with that I've been using in rainy situations, I got the Bertol Aspen open seat, very, very awesome leather seat. Just, I love that seat to death, but you got to protect it with oils and polish and all this stuff. And I went to the Appa Hotel, and they give you all these amenities. Last year I think we were in Osaka, and I have 2 shower caps. And instead of using the shower caps for what they're normally used for, I use them for my seat. And what's great about shower caps is that they have this elastic that is used to keep the plastic on your head. Well, it does the same function on your seat. Then I also wrapped it around with a volet strap as well to prevent it from flying away, because I'm sure any gust of wind would make even a shower cap fly off. So both of those things kept my bicycle dry in the important spots. So I was really happy about that. Okay, yeah, I also remember one other thing that was kind of a fail that's been failing on me over the past couple years is the Topeak front loader harness. And then there's that bag attachment that you can put on top of it. This time, yeah, my front loader, my clothes just dropped right out of it. It just loosened right off. And I've been thinking about getting the Jack the Bike Rack thing. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, wait a second. Maybe I should just really figure out how to use the harness properly and not just get the easy way out, because I might not end up liking the bike rack. And it's, at this point, 15,000 yen in Japan. So I just don't know if I should get that. I'm just wondering if I should do that, and that would fix all my problems on the front end. But I do like, I guess, here's another tangent, talking about like frame materials. Now I don't have a lot of experience with this stuff, but I can tell you this: once I start putting bags and stuff on the front of my bicycle and going off-road, I notice a significant difference in pliability of my bicycle. It soaks up, the bags soak up all of the bumps, so all the vibrations. It's so much smoother to ride on really rocky, bumpy roads when you have those front fork what are those called? The front fork, what's that friggin' Ortlieb front fork bags. Those are awesome to use, waterproof, perfect. And then that harness having the weighed down clothing. And I put my tent in the saddlebag, and I use the Topeak backloader. I stopped using the bag that comes with the tent because it's a pain in the butt to stuff it all in. It's much easier to put it in the 10-liter bag. So having that weighted down actually makes life more fun on bumpy roads, even though there's a little bit more weight, so it's a little bit harder going uphill, but downhills are way more fun. So I'm just weighing the ideas of like always having a little bit of bag or a little bit more weight on my bicycle when I'm going off-road or not. So I'm not quite sure what I should do about that, but that's something that I've noticed over the past 1 or 2 years.
これは難しいよ。なんかこれ全然できません。これぐらい全然スキルがないから、まあ面白いトレイルなんですけど、ゆっくりゆっくり進みます。骨折りたくないです。